Good afternoon, everybody. What a lovely bunch of budding authors we have here. Everybody know how to write, to spell, do that grammar checking stuff? Because we won't be talking about that. Anyway, so this very quick session is going to discuss a little topic which is very close to my heart. It is how to become an author and write intelligently about technology. And I think that's an important thing. I'm Tony Redmond. I've been at this a long time. I write for Petri.com. I also have got this very interesting project going at the moment, which is to write an ebook called Office 365 for IT Pros that we publish every week or month, as the case might be. So I've been doing this for a while. But anyway, enough about me because that's boring. Let's talk about the authoring landscape. You may have noticed that things happen a little bit quicker now than they used to. I mean, there used to be a stage way back where a new product would come out once a year. You could rely on it coming out once a year. You could rely on the documentation being valid for a year or more. Well, that doesn't happen anymore, and it's really difficult. The speed of the cloud. Microsoft said a couple of years ago that they had shipped 350 separate changes inside Office 365 in a year. Now think about that from the point of view about writing about the technology. Because as soon as you finish writing about something, it's changed. Even today, you think about the number of updates that Microsoft announced, that gives anybody who's been writing about Office 365 or Microsoft 365 a huge problem, because right now, all of the stuff that they wrote maybe a week ago may be invalid. And that's just the way it is. What this leads us to is the fact that an awful lot of the blogs and stuff that you read out there on the internet are just wrong, are just badly written. The way I put it is that a blog is like a guest or fish. After 3 days, they start to go off. All right? After 3 days, the content of a blog about any of these cloud technologies starts to degrade. And that's just the way it is. So, how do you get around this? Well, here are some tips from me about if you want to be a writer and you want to write about Microsoft technology, cloud technology, or any technology in general. I think the first thing you've got to do is find a subject. That sounds pretty logical, right? You find something you want to write about, something that you're enthusiastic about, something that you're knowledgeable about, and something that somebody has not already covered. I see stuff coming into various sites looking to be published, and a very quick check of Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, or your favorite search engine reveals it's been covered 50 times before. Don't waste your effort. Find something that's unique. And everybody knows something unique. That's the wonderful thing about technology. Everybody knows something unique. We all have some particular experience that we gained in working with technology. And the point is that if you can capture the usefulness of your experience, you've now got something great to write about. And that's what I'd really like to see people doing it. So don't duplicate what people have said before. Find your own perspective and report that perspective. Next thing. Microsoft does a great job of writing documentation, but don't assume the documentation is correct, because it's not. 95% of it is correct, 5% is not. It's because they struggle with this cloud thing as well. Stuff changes and the writers just don't know. The devs don't tell them, somebody doesn't inform them, it's not on their work list, it doesn't get updated. And it's the same for blogs and anything else you read. Don't assume that that stuff is correct. Go and check. And the great thing about checking technology is that you might find something that you've missed or something that everybody else has missed. And then you can report that, and you've got that essential element of a really good piece of writing. Something that you know that nobody else knows, and you can report on that. And the last point on this slide, we're at a Microsoft event. The Kool-Aid is flowing here. Does everybody notice that? Do you realize it? You are being bathed in Kool-Aid right now. Lose the Kool-Aid. Strip it away. Don't drink it. It's bad stuff for writers to drink Kool-Aid. Report facts that you know, report actuality, report your experience. Don't report what Microsoft or any vendor wants you to report. Always challenge the facts. All right? You'll be much better off. In terms of structure, I said earlier there's a lot of very badly written blogs out there. It is important to put some structure about what you write because, at the end of the day, this represents you. What you put up there represents you. Your professionalism, your knowledge, your experience. So be clear about the problem, explain the solution, and that thing about code. Everybody loves code, especially any snippet that solves a problem. My gosh, the stuff I write, the most popular stuff, it's all got code snippets in it. So put up some code, but make sure that the code works. That's a good thing. Okay? Buggy code, a challenge to the reader. Well, you might want to, put it out there just to see can anybody solve the problem that you've been grappling with for the last 2 weeks. But you're not going to get many friends doing it that way. So try and write good code and put it up there. You don't have to write the best code. You don't have to write pretty code. I do not write pretty code. I write functional code. I hack. My perspective is, especially with Office 365 and especially with PowerShell, I'll write something that works, and then the professional programmers amongst you will fix it and tell me about it later on. But I will put up stuff there that works. Okay? Please do compare and contrast because that's how people understand how you came to your conclusion. And I think that's important. Okay? And back stuff up with evidence. I see so many articles written that just make these assertions that are flat out wrong. And I want to know why people are saying that. And if they can show me why by giving me a link that I can click to say, okay, well, now I see why that person made that statement. They're still wrong. Okay? They're absolutely still wrong, but I understand them better. So back things up with hyperlinks and whatever. Now, there may be some people here who are interested in writing books. I've written about 25 of them. They are the work of the devil because they take you so long. And you don't make any money. But actually, at the end of the day, when you get something written and out there, it's fantastic. The problem is that it is going to take you a lot of time. I would say 4 months on average to put it together, all the material for a technical book. And think about that in context of, well, how much stuff is changing. You get to chapter 10, chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7 might have to be rewritten because of changes in technology. So books are even more affected by expiring content, and it's just the way it is. If you want to self-publish, go for it. I think it's fantastic. We self-published this book, and we've had a great experience. But please, don't self-publish without having somebody look over your text. Get a tech editor, somebody who you respect, to read the text, to make sure that you're not saying something wrong, to check all the examples, to check the hyperlinks, to check all of the references you make. And if you can, find somebody who can write better English than you can, to just go and take out the most basic grammatical errors. It's really terrible when you put in so much effort into writing, and right there in the middle of the headline, or right there in the middle of the text, there's some really bad grammatical error. Take it all out. If you use Word for Windows, crank it right up to the annoying setting, where it prompts every single grammatical problem until you get your writing to a stage where you can just write without prompting. Okay? And I do recommend people to think about self-publishing. It's very easy today. LeanPub does it, Amazon does it with Kindle. Very, very easy. You can go and generate text quite easily with Word and then pour it through a tool like Calibre, which is a free e-publishing tool. It'll produce things like EPUB or Mobi, which is the version that's used by Amazon, and you can just publish that direct. Now, that's all I have to say, but I have a surprise guest here, because Mary Jo Foley, who has written more articles than I care to remember, is here, and she's the doyen of writing about Microsoft. So maybe she'll give us a few words about writing from a real professional.
Oh, thanks, Tony. Am I on? Yeah, on. Okay. I have a couple of things to supplement what Tony said, and I agree with everything he said, by the way. First off, the thing about specializing, I can't overemphasize that enough. That's how I got my whole career, because I just happened to start writing about Microsoft 30 years ago, and nobody else was really like doing one company coverage then, so I became known as the Microsoft Watcher. So even if what you know is very, very specialized, I mean, if your thing is Active Directory and you do a blog about Active Directory, that's not too specialized. Because right now there's so many people who are general Microsoft watchers, we don't need more of them. We need people who know certain things that we, the Microsoft press, can come to you for your expertise. So if you have a blog like that or you're doing a site like that, don't be afraid to ping the authors. Send me an email, tweet to me, because that's how people get discovered. If I'm writing an article on Active Directory and you happen to ping me, and I'm like, that guy knows about Active Directory, or that woman knows about Flow, I'll start quoting your blog and linking to you because it makes me look smarter, and then you get the free publicity. So that's one tip I have. And on books, I've only written one book, and my hair used to be redder, browner, but once I did that one book, I went totally gray. I'm not kidding you. I used to dream about Microsoft when I was writing my book. So if you want to do a book, like Tony said, there's no money in it, but what is in it is free publicity for you. If you write a book and get known for that one thing, people will start coming to you more. Other bloggers will come to you. You'll start getting more speaking engagements. So if you do it, it's a labor of love, but it's also something that can really help your career. And I think those are my 2 tips.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's the real pro for you. Now, let me I'll just give you a final couple of words. When you set out to write, just set yourself for some very simple goals. The average blog is 600 words. The average blog is 600 words. I've had people coming up to me and saying, I can't write a blog. We are all professionals here. Look around, you're professionals. You're at a show like this, you're a pro. You can't tell me that you can't write 600 words about stuff that you know. Okay? So every single one of you can be an author. And as Mary Jo said, if you get yourself out there and start publishing in snippets of 600 words like that, 600 word blogs, you will get a following, you will get better at it, you will get picked up, and who knows where that might go. In terms of books, the other thing I often say to people is, a page a day keeps the editor away. Just write 1 page a day. That should be your goal. And after 200 days, roughly a half a year, you'll have a book. If you can do it quicker than that, that's absolutely great because of the technology problems we talked about a little while ago. But there you are, 2 simple metrics for you to go to. 600 words for a blog post about something you love and know, and a page a day to get to a book. If you do that, you'll be a writer, you'll be writing about technology, you'll be sharing your experience, and that's a fantastic thing to do. As I said earlier, everybody's got something in them that we need to know about. So go, liberate your writing, and get blogging. Okay? Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the Ignite.